Furmanczyk, and I'm going to be teaching you free music theory. Small letters. Woohoo! This is a completely 100% completely free in-depth music theory course that I am putting on just because I would like to expand the general music community online. Well, not just online, but throughout the whole world, to people that don't have access to music theory lessons, or they can't afford them, or they live in a small city and they can't have access to them. So what I've done is I've been playing piano for 18 years, and I play I play ocarina and also a little bit of violin, and I've been studying music theory since I was about 8 years old. So I decided to put on basically a free music theory course. I already have a free how to play piano course, and there's some theory involved in that, but it's not very in-depth. And what I wanted to do is just have a pure theory course where it's only theory, so it can apply to piano players, violin players, flute, cello, singers, guitar, bass guitar, drums, anyone that's playing an instrument in anything. Music theory applies, because basically music theory is basically like learning the language, or like kind of like the grammar of music. It's itself like music. You've got what you listen to, but if you don't know the music theory behind it, it makes it very hard to create your own songs, or if you want to know a little bit more what's going on behind the scenes in the music that you're listening to, so that you can listen to something and go like, oh, I really like that. And then you're like, oh, well, I know that this does this, and like it's using this chord progression, or it's using this harmonic pattern, or using this cadence, or whatever. So all these different things that are coming out, or maybe you like the structure of the song. If you learn music theory, you can learn those parts and then basically use it to create your own music. It's kind of like learning, like if you're studying English or any other language, if you study the grammar to it, then it'll make writing a story a lot easier if you're a novelist, versus if you just know how to speak it a little bit, So, those are some of the benefits to music theory. A few other ones would be that it is really good for your brain. I know people that they study music theory and whoa, they're like really, really, really sharp. Their brains are just like as sharp as like the really, really fine little edge of a knife. They're so sharp. I actually know this older lady who's a piano teacher, but she mainly teaches theory, and she is a grandma. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to embarrass her or anything like that, but she's taught theory, and she is so smart. Like she's older and she's a grandma, but she can seriously probably think faster and more clearly than I can. That's how good theory is for you. So, if I've got you interested in that, this first video isn't going to show as much content because I'm doing an introduction also, but the other videos will go straight into what we're going to be teaching. So, first up, I'm going to have, basically, I'm going to go through everything, show you how to do it, and then at the end of the lesson, I'm going to give you homework that you're going to do. So there's going to be like a little homework time, and you're like, yay, homework! But anyway, so yeah. Homework will be assigned at the end, and then each lesson is not going to be too much to chew on all at once, and it's going to start very, very, very basic. Like, we're going to go right to the very beginning. So if you are an absolute beginner and you have never taken theory, ever, nothing, you can do this. You can literally sit here, you can watch the videos, and you'll have everything you need. All that you need to learn this is an internet connection, these videos of course. All you need at home is a pencil, a ruler, an eraser, and some paper to draw on. So you have those things and the will to do this, and you're basically set to go. I'm even probably going to send some of the students that I teach on a regular basis to watch these videos so that they can learn the theory, so that I don't have to keep teaching it over and over again. Yeah, so if you're one of my students already, pay attention. Okay. Anyway, now that we've got all that cleared out of the way, I would like to begin with the very basics. So let's take it away. Okay, so the very first thing that we need to learn is going to be called the staff. Now, you aren't going to be hired anywhere. You don't have to be a staff of anything. This is all it is. It's literally 5 lines. We have 1 line, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know I have it written this way, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In essence, there's 5 lines. So all you have to do is take your ruler, you're going to lay it out like this, and draw a line, and put a space, like leave enough room here, and then draw another line, leave a space, draw another line, another line, another line. So you have 5 lines. Then what you're going to do is I want you to copy what I've written here on a sheet of paper, and you're going to call it, this is the staff, S-T-A-F-F, and you're going to put the numbers up this way, and I also want you to count the spaces. There are 4 of them. So that's the first thing. So I want you to memorize this. This is the staff, 4 spaces, 5 lines. Got it? Okay, let's move on. Alright, so now the next thing we're going to do is we need to know basically what I'm teaching you is sheet music. So the first thing I taught you was the staff. Now that's where all of our notes are written on. Now, we'll get into that later, but just follow my pace here. Okay, these are the building blocks. So the next thing we need to learn what a bar line is. So this is a bar line. It's literally just you're going along with your staff and boom, there's a little line. Okay? We use the bar lines to kind of separate the music into areas that are manageable. Because if you had this super long piece and there's no lines, then how would you know where to go? Well, okay, measure 46.7 inches across on page 5. You know, you'd have to it'd be just ridiculous. So we use lines and we call them bars. So from one bar line to another is called a measure, or sometimes we just refer to it as a bar. Basically, you know, 1 bar. So in between those 2 bars. That sounds a little confusing. So just think of it as a measure, okay? Now, at the end of every piece, we have something called a double bar line. This shows you that it's finished. You can take a break, go have a coffee, or just have a nap. Anyway, or in some cases, sweat profusely and pass out on stage, like some musicians have done. But anyway, so double bar line, okay? I want you to draw this out, copy it, have this. All of these things I want you to keep. I want you to write them out so that you'll remember it better and you'll have notes to study from after. Okay, so that's that. Next, let's move on. Alright guys, the next thing we have to do is learn 2 clefs, okay? Now, you're either going to be using a treble clef or a bass clef depending on what instrument you're playing. Some instruments you'll be using both. But if you're just using a solo, your vocal, if you're a vocalist, you could be using either one, or a violinist will probably be using treble clef, whereas a double bass is probably going to be using a bass clef. So, I'm going to show you guys both. Now, we're not going to go over what we're using them for, it's just basic information. I want you to learn how to draw them and the names of them. That's all. Okay, so first up, we're going to do treble clef. This is the harder one to draw. So, this, I've just drawn 5 little lines, but this isn't a full staff, obviously, just for reasons so you can see it. So you're going to start off with a little dot here, so you're going to put a little dot underneath. So put a dot. Now you're going to loop it down, and then go straight up. That's all you do first. And you're going to go up past here. Next thing you're going to have to do is you draw a little dot, or while you draw the dot, go straight up. Now what you do is you hold your pen here, and you're going to loop backwards to the right, and go down, back the way you're coming, but this time it's going to shape over this way, and it's going to cross on the second line from the top. So it goes up and crosses on the second line from the top, and then just let it stop there. Now it's going to now step 3, you go up, loop over. Now as you do this, you're going to go diagonally, sort of on a 45-degree angle, and then you're going to come and loop around so that you level off and you come parallel and you actually touch this bottom line here. Okay, so you loop it. It's almost like drawing a 2 here, like the number 2. And then to finish it off, so you draw your dot, go straight up, loop it over, cross on the second line, bring it back down, and when it touches here, then you're going to bring it up and touch it to the third line, so 1, 2, 3, so the third line, and then make it spiral around, and you can add a little dot, or you can make it just kind of come in, and then that's the treble clef. So remember that, treble clef, and I want you to draw this out at least 5 or 10 times, I'd say. Okay? With more practice, you'll get better at it. Just follow those steps and you should be fine. Now the bass clef, super easy. All you do is you take the second top line here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, line number 4. Draw a little dot and then bring it around up to the top, touch the top line, and then bring it down, and then end the tail right in the middle of the space on the last space on the bottom. And then here, step 3, add 1 dot here and 1 dot here. So the 2 top spaces, add 1 dot each. And that's it. So that's bass clef. So treble clef, bass clef. And there you go. Woo! Okay, let's move along. Now, finally putting it all together. In piano music, you'll see this a lot, but in other instruments you probably won't, in vocal music or whatever. But I have to cover this. This is called the grand staff. The grand staff. Now, what it is it's a combination of a treble clef and a bass clef put together, using one unified clef or staff together. So see this brace right here? That's this squiggly line thing right there. It shows that you play these 2 clefs together as one. So both of these are together. You played hands together on piano, and or other instruments you might have to play it too. But basically, you have a line in the middle here, and the notes keep going up like this. And then you have a note there, you have a note there. But we're going to get into that after in later lessons. I just want you to be familiar with this first and get used to drawing it. And then we've got a double bar line here, and bass clef and treble clef. So I want you to basically draw this as well and copy it the way I have it, and then you're good. Homework. No. So your homework for the lesson, and if you already know how to do this, you can skip over it, but until you feel comfortable and you know what you're doing, your homework is to draw at least 20 grand staffs. So that includes treble clef, bass clef, both staffs, the brace with a line going down in the front, and a bar and a line and a double bar at the end. And I want you to draw 20 of those on pieces of paper. Okay? Take care. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.